Welcome to the beautiful world of aquascaping, to the Green Aqua Gallery. First of all, let me wish you a very happy new year, and thanks for sticking with us, to subscribing the Green Aqua YouTube channel, to like our videos, to comment, and for all the contribution. You guys are wonderful. We would like to start the new year by presenting you a couple of tips and tricks of aquascaping. We invited a couple of really good professional aquascapers to help you with that. Check our tips out. So first, JURIJS here. Check it out.
Okay guys, we have no time, so I'm gonna make really quick tips. First one is cut off your crypts before you plant them into the aquarium. Crypts are gonna melt anyway, but doing this will give you really bushy growth right from the beginning. Next tip is setting SMART goals. S stands for small, measurable, achievable, repeatable, and timed. What I mean by this, set yourself a goal to achieve the best result within a certain period, 2 to 6 months, take a final picture and move on, do the next scape. This way you will evolve as an aquascaper much quicker. My 3 steps to success are: first, master the plants, learn how to grow plants. Next, master the algae. Can I overcome the algae phase, get everything into balance? And third and the last step is, get fancy and work on the design. My 4th tip is the LDSMB method. Oh my god, this just broke my tongue. LDSMB stands for the Lazy Dry Start Method B. What does it mean? You do the dry start, but instead of planting everything into the soil, you just take, for example, Monte Carlo, you cut it in small pieces and you sprinkle it on top of soil like herbs. You just keep everything wet and, 6 weeks later, magic, you have a carpet. My 5th tip is the MMM method. So many acronyms. This is the Moss Smart method. What do? You take a little bit of moss, you take aqua soil, you blend it in the mixer, then you take a paintbrush, you paint your rocks, you run a dry start, keep everything wet, and voila, 6 weeks later, you see the moss growing everywhere like magic. And finally, my magic ingredient for algae-free aquariums. You might guess it, use more plants right from the beginning. Boom! 6 tips, how fast was I?
Alright, JURIJS was very quick with his tips. Here's mine. Tip number 1, how to prime a filter. When the filter is empty, you need to fill it up with water. There's a button on it. If you push it, most filters will prime up. If it doesn't have a primer function, you just need to suck the hose, let the water run through the filter. The first couple of liters, just let it out in a bucket, and when it's ready, you close the filter clamp and then put the hose back into the water. Now, tip number 8, how to take off hoses from a lily pipe. Many people just push the lily pipe and try to break it. Don't do it. Just put it 1 centimeter. The hose should touch the lily pipe 1 centimeter. Push it in, pull it back, move it a little bit, juggle it. It comes off easy. When you want to put the lily pipe on, just wet it a little bit and then you can push it up the glass easy. Tip number 9, how to make suction cups stick better. You just have to push the suction cup, caress it a little bit, and it's going to work nicely. Tip number 10, how to clean the surface. Just take a paper towel. If you don't have a surface skimmer, you should get a surface skimmer, but if you don't have it, get a paper towel, put it on the surface, take it off, repeat this. It's gonna be crystal clear. Tip number 11, how to clean the corners inside of a tank. You just take the algae scraper, move it 45 degrees, and move it along. Make sure that you don't scratch the glue, or you can use a toothbrush to clean that. Tip number 12, how to program a digital timer. When you plug it in, nothing shows. Press reset, it will set on 12 o'clock. Press set, keep it pushed, and then press plus. It's Tuesday, press set, press plus, like say 2 o'clock, set, minutes, set, ready. If you want to set the program, just press the first program with the up button, press set again, set the program with the plus minus buttons, then press set multiple times until it's done. If you want to return to the clock, just press clock here. Tip number 13, how to clean the glass above the surface. You just take a sponge or you just take a paper towel, make sure that the paper towel doesn't touch the surface, and then just pull the paper towel along the surface. This is it. More than 1 minute.
Tip number 14, trimming the moss. Sometimes you have a problem that when trimming a moss, it just floats into the carpet and you can never get rid of it. For this, you can use a bucket and a water pump. You just suck the water directly into the bucket, put a fish net underneath it. So that way you can catch all the moss, and from the bucket you can pump the water back into the aquarium with the water pump. Tip number 15, cleaning the substrate. We have a problem of not being able to keep the substrate clean in the aquarium, but actually you can just by moving the suction pipe above the carpet level by 1 centimeter. And this way you can suck all the very light particles from the soil without taking the plants out. Tip number 16, topping the stem plants. When we trim all the stem plants, you have to take care of 2 things. First of all, where you do the cut, the plant is gonna grow 2 stems instead of 1. So you have to make sure you trim the plant in a place where you can't see it behind other plants or behind some decoration, some hardscape. The other thing is, what you've cut off the top, you should plant it back in the soil because it can grow new roots. So you're gonna have the fresh tops looking and not the freshly cut stems in the back of the aquarium. Tip number 17. You should not use any tying material or glue if you don't have to. Whenever we use some anubias or some moss or microzorum or any plant that's usually tied to hardscape, we try to look for small bits where you can actually just put the plant. Just look for small places where you can put them. Tip number 18, cleaning the front glass where your substrate is. For this one, you need a card that you don't need anymore. If you would use an ALGAE cleaner with a blade, you would scratch the glass by the substrate. But with a plastic card, you can safely just put this in between the substrate and the glass without scratching it. Tip number...
Tip number 18 from Otti, how to fill up the sand. So you need to take a cup, the cup is filled with sand, put the cup underwater, pour out the sand slowly, and you're done.
Tip number 20.
Yes. How to feed the shrimp. You have the shrimp feeder, and then you cut a tube, you put the tube underwater, and then you can drop the food on the top of the tube, and it will go right into the feeder, not on the surface.
Tip number 21.
How to clean cereus stones, or any other stones for that matter. If they age or if they have some layer on the outer side, you can use some acid to just clean the surface, and then the cereus rocks, for example, will be nice and blackish, dark gray color. Just don't use too strong acid because it can have gases, etc. So it's very dangerous.
It's over. Feeding time.
Tip number 22. Please use the plastic hose to cover your glass pipe. You can cut maybe 1 centimeter, maximum 1 centimeter half, and cut again to make the open space. And this way you can use the special cover, safety cover. When you use this way on the night to make aeration, you can imagine what's happened with something going wrong, the glass pipe drop down, and this is some kind of help desk. Tip number 23. If you want to use special layout when you have to separate space between part of layout and hardscape, you can use the big power sand L, and you create the hermetic parts between the rocks and the glass. Tips 24. If you are super jet filter owner, sometimes your house or your room is much colder, and usually the filter is very bottom part of our aquarium space. So it's my idea to use garden mat made by very good quality of material. It's keep the warm maybe 1 degrees, 1.5 degrees higher than usually. Tip number 25. People usually using the chairs, but in our hobby we need the bench made by wood. It's very good natural material, correspond to wooden floor, to the glass of aquarium, and of course the most important is very simple design. Tip 26. Our water space needs also the opposite energy, like a fire. You can feel much better when your space surround you is more balanced. So between fire and water could be also balance. If you want this kind of branch, very good quality, please go to my carpenter. Call him 990-567. Call now. the last call, your beach part of your layout. Sorry. Beaches.
Like beach.
Beach.
Hi guys! Tip number 27. How to dose without spilling. If I dose the fertilizers, I put it right next to the glass and slowly dose it. This way I can avoid splashing. From the ADA, I dose 1 milliliter for 20 liters. From the Secam Flourish Excel, I dose 1 milliliter for each 40 liters. Tip number 28, how to use the curved scissors. I love this waved ADA scissor. And I can use it. I love it because I trim comfortably and horizontally the foreground grass. This connects us to the tip number 29, what to do with the plants after trimming. Use the fishnet to take the plants out and place them in a plastic container. It is ideal to have a container that can be hanged on the glass, like this one here. Tip number 13, how to remove the hard jelly from the plants. For example, I use one of the green aqua plants, the Monte Carlo. I pull it out. I remove the jelly by pushing gently the plants and I rinse it in water to remove the remaining jelly. See, it's absolutely spotless. Tip number 31, where to store the towel. You can tuck it into your pocket like this, or you can just put it on your shoulder. A less cool way is just put it on the light, like this. Aqua goes rock.
Tip number 32 comes from our maintenance expert, Moti. He's instructing us how to fill a drop checker. You have to first turn the drop checker upside down and then carefully push the container for the drop checker liquid, which is a pH liquid, until we have enough in there, and then you can turn the drop checker in its normal position and then you can place it in the aquarium. The color blue indicates not enough CO2. The color lime green will indicate optimal CO2 levels around 30 ppm, and the color yellow will indicate too much CO2 in your tank. Tip number 33, use a Dennerle sponge to clean the glass. This sponge has metallic fiber in it, which means that it will clean the glass much easier than normal sponges. You can use that to remove algae, especially green dust algae or green spot algae that is on the glass. Tip number 34, always cover the floor with something to protect the floor, especially when you have wooden floor or you want to protect the furniture from water spilling out during maintenance or topping off your aquarium. Tip number 35, how to clean the filter hoses. We have quite nice tools for that. For example, the ADA spring washer is a perfect little tool that can go into your lily pipes and clean the algae and other organic material from inside the lily pipe. Make sure that you use good quality brushes. Because of the poor quality, your glass can break during maintenance. Take care of it. The tip of the suction side lily pipe can be easily cleaned with this brush by rotating the brush in both directions. Tip number 36, how to clean the inside of a lily pipe. You can use a half sponge to do that. You can just tear down the top part of the sponge and then use that to clean the inside of the lily pipe. This is a very clever trick. Tip number 37, how to remove the water from a diffuser. You can use a syringe and some air tube attached to that syringe and suck out the water from the diffuser like that. This is especially useful if you have some residue of water that contains some chlorine after cleaning your diffuser with, for example, ADA SUPERS.
Tip number 38, using a colander to refill your aquarium with water. It disperses the water and ensures your water doesn't go cloudy. Tip 39, using a credit card or something similar to get in between the gravel and the glass to keep it algae free. Just be careful not to scrape the gravel against the glass. Tip number 40, keep your CO2 diffusers really clean by soaking them for a few minutes in some bleach and some water, and keep the CO2 running during this process, and it stops the bleach from getting into the diffuser. Tip 41, buy aquascaping books. Really great to have a hard copy, something you can physically hold, have on your coffee table, use for inspiration, and just build up a library of books. Beautiful. Tip number 42, hoard your hardscape. Buy as much hardscape as you can and keep it so whenever you do a new aquascape you can use new hardscape materials, recycle hardscape materials, but just get as much hardscape as you can.
Tip number 43, how much to feed your fish. First of all, turn off your filter, don't add the daily dose at once. Add small portions, wait for them to eat it and repeat it 4 to 8 times. Don't forget to reconnect your filter. Tip number 44, if you need to catch your fish, it is better if you use 2 fish nets. Chase your fish with one and use the other one to catch them. Or use shrimp removal glass product to safely remove shrimps. Tip number 45, how to introduce your fish into your aquariums. Put the fish bag in your aquarium, punch a few holes in the bag and leave it there for a few hours for the water parameters and the temperature to equalize. Tip number 46, if you really like your fish, once or twice a week feed them with frozen or live food.
Tip number 47. So how to take a good photo with your mobile, because mobile is always with you. Make sure the exposure is correct. So usually you can just tap down your mobile. If you focus on something, just decrease the light to capture with the right exposure. The second tip would be to use some kind of photo program which is free, and make sure you gives that extra touches to your photos. Tip number 48. How to clean potted plants easier for planting. So if you have a potted plants, it doesn't need to take too long. Yeah, just remove it and just pull it out from the wood. And it's easy and it's ready to plant. Tip number 49. How to give a little color boost for your fish. So you can do this several ways. Most of the manufacturer has product like this. It could be a flake, could be a granule. But you also can use frozen food, and you also can use some liquid like the Catapa X and give some little extra colors for your wonderful fish. Tip number 50, and actually this is the last one for today. So when you start a new aquarium and you're ready with the planting, the hardscape part, and you want to fill it up with water, just place the bag, could be a bag of soil, could be any kind of bag, into your aquarium and use the water on top of the bag to fill up the aquarium completely.
All right, guys, hands in the water, just like this. I wish you a very, very happy new year. Keep on scaping, subscribe, like, comment, contribute. Go. Bye.